Hey everybody, welcome back to Old Reader New Reader. I know it's been a bit. It's my birthday month and I took a little vacay. And I'm here with Elliot, I guess.
No, my name's Clark Kent. I mean Superman.
Just kidding, it's me.
Welcome, Elliot. Great,
Hello.
Clark. I didn't know it was you. I thought it was Clark Kent at first. Oh my gosh.
Maddie, it's a comic book. It should have been pretty obvious. Okay, it's this way.
I know it's mirrored, it's weird. So welcome, Elliot. We are here to talk about The Titans, a book that you and I have been trying to collect all the floppies of because it was never collected for years now. I think we're only missing the last two or so.
And why was it again we were searching these out?
Because I knew it wasn't collected, so I wanted to have them.
And did we find out why maybe it wasn't collected?
I think we did find out maybe why it wasn't collected, yes. So we are talking about The Titans by Devin Grayson. This is going to be a multiple-parter. So Devin Grayson wrote the first 20 issues of this. We will be talking about the first Secret Files as well. And then it went on to two other writers. Hello, everybody. Hi, James. Hi, Darkwood Fairy. Hello. So we decided to read this Weird on DC Universe, even though we have the physical floppies of this, because convenience. And to not get this messed up, because we have, I'm holding a few more right here. Our intent was to pick all of these up and get them custom bound into one big omnibus. Like, I think Omar has it collected. And I was like, you know what? We love the Titans. We love Roy Harper. We love Donna Troy. They're two of our favorites. We have a lot of figures and art of them. So let's read The Titans. And let me tell you, this was something.
Yeah.
So from what I gather from like the Titans reading order put together by Crushing Comics, thank you, Crushing Comics. This is like the first Titans run after like the big long Marv Wolfman Teen Titans, then the New Titans ended. From what I can gather. And then some stuff happened between the end of Marv Wolfman's New Titans and this that I don't quite understand. So we're all doing our best here with this.
It does a job explaining what happened.
It
I won't
sure
say
does.
a good job. It says it does a job explaining it.
It sure does. So if people at home, in case you're not familiar with the Titans, maybe you know Teen Titans, you're not sure about Titans. So Titans are like the older versions of like the OG Teen Titans, which is, you know, Donna Troy, aka Wonder Girl, Wally West, who is the Flash in this, because Barry is not here, but he was Kid Flash. We have Robin, now Nightwing. We've got Arsenal, aka Roy Harper, aka my husband, aka Speedy. We also have Tempest, aka Awkward Lad, aka Garth, which is still the silliest name.
AKA Gillhead, am I right?
And then we have a few other members, but this is our like crew at the beginning, and they're trying to bring back the Titans again, basically. At this point,
Just reunite the family.
Trying to bring the family back. Because that's how they've always seen themselves as a family. So they're trying to bring back the team. Everyone gives in, basically. Most of the convincing is done to kind of convince Nightwing, as it usually is. Because Nightwing kind of ends up being, if Roy Harper's the leader of the Titans, Nightwing tends to be de facto leader. And they each are like, hey, I want to bring this person. So they end up bringing in Cyborg, who at this point is golden.
Big old gold boy.
He shapeshifts, and he has what they call, let me have the exact words here. Cyber empathy. They don't explain what cyber empathy is.
There he is. Look at him. It's our little golden boy.
He's our little golden boy. They bring in Starfire. They bring in Argent. And
everyone's favorite.
I'm still not exactly sure her whole deal, so I feel bad. But and they bring in Damage, who used to be a criminal. He was in the New Titans. Later, we find out that he's the son of Adam, and there's another character named Damage, but it's not the same Damage. Comics
Different
is
guy.
fun, you guys.
Different guy.
And Jesse Quick. So that's our new group here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a funny bit at the beginning where there's like a newscast like, oh, Teen Titans are recruiting again. They're getting their group back together. And so there's all these former Titans and Teen Titans. They show them like kind of waiting by the phone, a little hopeful, like Bumblebee, Fire, something. They completely do not even talk to Beast Boy, aka Changeling. But he happens to be there while Roy Harper's asking Cyborg to join back up, which is pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently I'm not exactly sure what all went down. But somewhere between...
he had warrants at the beginning of this.
He had several warrants out for his arrest, which Roy Harper had to get rid of, which he did by not hacking, but by making out with some lady who had like a police computer or whatever. And then while making out with her, making the changes on the computer.
So kind of hacking.
But everyone's cool with that, even Superman. So,
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're starting out with. They're getting everybody back together. I will say there's no Raven in this. Raven does show up.
She's also gold.
She's also golden. And I guess we'll kind of go bit by bit through here. It's a little while. So this is the first 20 issues. I will go and say there's not a huge overall plot to this, really. There's a bunch of just little moments.
Yeah, there's kind of like, you can kind of judge it by like the main baddie they're fighting. Because at first they're fighting the Hive.
That's true.
And then they're fighting Vandal, a.k.a. Randall Savage. And his... I forgot what they're called. Like, he has like a group of a whole bunch
the
of
crew of
supervillains.
baddies.
And then and they fight an actor for a while who's also a demon. Well,
Yeah.
It's always those Hollywood types. You can never trust them.
Thank you for the super chat, Jack Ferry. Anyone read Teen Titans Earth 1 by Jeff Lemire? I haven't actually, but I own it. I've been wanting to read that because it has like some cool kind of re-envisioning of some of the Teen Titans. I do want to pick it up because there were some of the other Earth ones.
Yeah. Lemire does some good stuff.
I love Lemire. Yeah, so I guess there are like there's these crew of big bads, I guess. So you have, on one hand, you've got Goth.
Mm-hmm.
He refers to the demon rock star who is influencing children, high schoolers or whatever, with his music.
Taking them to Dis.
Which is like hell. And then you've got Hive, which has been reorganized. That's been one of like the main baddies, like ran by Queen Bee. I think just a better name. But you've seen her like Teen Titans show and stuff. And Damien Dark is there helping run that.
Our favorite CW villain, Damien Dark.
We do love Damien Dark. And yeah, like you said, Vandal Savage is just collecting a bunch of bad guys like Lady Vic, Cheshire, other bad guys that I have
Gorilla
forgotten.
Grodd.
Oh yeah, Grodd's there. I forgot.
Gorilla Grodd's chilling. There's another. There's also the I forgot his name, but he's the Nazi.
Oh gosh, I keep
there.
wanting to forget about him. Red Panzer.
Red Panzer, which stands for Red Tank.
So I guess we can kind of go bit by bit. I actually took notes. Everybody at home can be proud of me.
That's good because I've read this over the past month, so I'm gonna need your note. It took me so long to. It's a lot of text in these '90s comics.
I feel very bad. I should have just had us read Titans. It would have been fine.
Man, I can get through a floppy in like a couple of maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. These, oh god,
I'm sorry.
So much dialogue.
They're pretty wordy. It's
I bet he was paid by the word. Had to have been. Pardon. Yeah, less than a man would have.
Oh my gosh.
It was the 90s.
I was just about to bring up Dark. I was so happy to see him in the comics because I loved him in Green Arrow. Boy, was I disappointed. He is not the same.
Not the same. There's just he's got no riz, as the kids say. Just zero riz in the comics.
Short for charisma, everyone. So the first part I want to talk about is when they're getting the crew back together and like Superman comes to supervise. It's like supervise.
You.
Mostly because I think it's really funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the face because it's really funny.
Because they had this moment where he goes and kind of grills each of them personally.
He's like,
Yeah, let me. Yeah, please.
he's like this. He's like this. We're doing things, and he's like, and he's like, look at us, we're doing better. And he's like, and he's like, then eventually he's like, yeah, okay, cool, I can leave now because he doesn't need to be there. He's like, you guys don't need me. I'm gonna go finish that report on something for the
Yeah,
Daily
because I was
Planet.
just like a stone face, and he went like, fly.
Goodbye.
But it's really fun because he just like grills each of them personally, and they're all like, "Oh God!" They're like, he's like, "Why are you here?" Wait a second, damn it! You didn't have warrants out for your arrest? Okay, fine. Like, just like interesting. Oh, Donna, you're back. Okay.
What?
And then he talks to
What do you go
Wally,
by
like-
nowadays? Troya? What is this?
Yeah. And he talks to Wally. He's like, "Oh, so why are you? Can you do the Justice League and this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll find time."
Yeah, and he doesn't. He doesn't find time. He's very, 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 very busy the
Very
whole time.
busy. What's bad is I like this series, but I can't remember what happened after the first 10 or so issues. I can't blame you for
I
that.
just read it and I couldn't tell you. No, that's not
Okay,
true. It
so-
is kind of picking up. Like it's just a really, really slow start. It doesn't help that I don't know what has happened before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of references to stuff that I just have to be like, oh, that happened. Oh, okay, cool. It's like, oh, Cyborg tried to assimilate everybody, and something about the
Oh,
moon.
yeah.
Sure, like, sounds
Donna
about
was
right.
gone somehow, but then brought back just by Wally's memory of her alone. So she doesn't know if the her that's here is really her or not.
Yeah, she's a goody two shoes, but she doesn't know if she wants to be one. Dang it.
Hi, Axel. Good to see you. Yeah, okay. So in the next kind of big, like, I guess, little arc is first we have Goth, the like demon rock star who's an actor, which I wonder if he's related at all to Blue Devil because that's a Teen Titans character that's later.
He's kind of a Red Devil, maybe.
Yeah, or like I guess there's a Blue Devil, Red Devil, and I wonder if he's related at all to this. Maybe some people in the chat will know.
You know, not all devils are related. Okay, calm down.
But I both liked and disliked this part. I disliked the school shooting. That was a bummer.
Yeah, that kind of, well, that was kind of topical back then.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen anymore, so we don't have to worry too much about it.
I did like there's this whole scene where they there's a lot of good scenes in here. One is like the girls' night versus the guys' night because the girls go out to go see Goth and the guys stay home and watch a movie and get really scared.
Yeah.
Which is cute. They're trying to have some bonding moments.
And Roy spills the popcorn all over himself because he's not scared.
Yeah, it's very cute. And then like they find out that Goth is of course controlling all of these teens and like preying upon their like depression and their hopelessness of their lives because their lives suck.
Relatable.
And they'll okay, Siri, chill out. Siri didn't like that. So the Titans have to go in to Dees, aka Hell or whatever, and fight against Goth, but do so in a way that convince the children to care about things again. Because the children are like, my mom beats me. Like, oh.
You're just like, oh, this is yikes.
And they're like, you still have to care about something. I know life is hard. And like, maybe you don't feel like anybody loves you. And I'm like, that's like the Titans. I mean, it does reflect what Titans is good at, which is having like bigger, more human conversations about things.
Yeah, and I think essentially the solution to that problem was attacking Goth because they're like, well, obviously these kids care about this dude because they followed him to hell for him. So like everyone was like popping away because they started to care about stuff again. So it's just like, oh, that was a weird solution. Not wholesome at all, but it works.
It was odd, right? Because you would think they would just like Starfire would have a big talk with everybody and they'd be like, yeah, you're right. But it was like, okay, this isn't working. So let me just hurt the one thing I know they care about for sure, which is this guy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And then we get that thing where everybody signs the book and they sign their names.
Yeah.
And Donna signs hers, and she can't go through because it's not her actual name.
Yeah, I did like that small little scene where Dick Grayson wrote Nightwing like 3 times before he had to write his actual name to actually teleport. That was pretty good. He's just like,
I thought
oh
that was pretty cute.
shit, okay, gosh,
Fine.
I'll follow the rules. But yeah, I just thought that maybe Donna didn't know how to spell her name. That's the only reason.
Well, she had like 4 names, like Donna something Hinkle.
That's
Troy?
probably
Her married name?
her married name.
When she married that nerd.
From that redhead who wasn't going to be killed because of that prophecy. So
Yeah. Okay, so the next part, like I'm going through kind of in order, but we got to talk about Red Panzer. Now, people in the chat, I don't know if you've seen him before, if you've read more than I have, because I've read a lot of DC, but I haven't read. I'm never fully gonna be caught up, of what really has happened in like
not
DC
with that attitude.
lore. But there's Red Panzer. They bring him up. He's this guy who's a Nazi superhero, whatever. And he wears this like helmet. And you can only wear that if you are, from what I gathered, like a Nazi fascist.
We find out not really.
But he's got this backstory where he's like, I don't know, he's a quarter of another race, I think black or something. And he's ashamed of that, of how he's treated. And even though he looks lighter skinned, he's trying to distance himself from that. And so he sees his way out as wearing the helmet and becoming this Nazi guy. And they take pity on him through this. He's an awful human being and continues to be Red Panzer after this issue. And they're like, hey, we can help you, man.
Not for long.
Well, for at least 13 issues or so. So
yeah, he gets replaced pretty quick.
Yeah, but it was odd. I was just like,
up.
I don't think you'd see that now.
Yeah, the Nazi stuff doesn't usually track.
No,
they kind of lost their moment there, and yeah, and I mean, it's really just a dude in a helmet. That's his whole. The whole power is like the helmet and the suit. So
I guess I don't know anything else about it. Maybe other people do. Were there Titans cartoons at the time this was published? This was at 1999. So there has been before this at least a Teen Titans like cartoon, not the one,
not the one everyone knows.
No, because that started 2003. But like
Teen Titans,
the old one had happened.
Oh yeah, like it almost looks like stop motion. The animation is so
bad. Yeah. But that's been a bit.
That was back when they were doing that was like a Hanna-Barbera level Teen Titans.
Yeah, it was decades ago.
Wonder Twins and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't know, again, I didn't get to comics until the past. I was the new reader, hence this is why the show started. Now I'm the old reader, right? I had no idea what surrounded this. I know big events, but I had no idea what leads into this one. I'm very familiar with the later Titans around with 2006, all of that. I know what happens there. But this one, no clue what happens surrounding
it. A lot of things were happening as these were coming out, as well as they were trying to explain a lot of things that had happened. These characters have a super deep history. It's just, oh boy. It's I mean, you figure you don't need a whole lot of explaining if you start at one, but you do, turns out.
Yeah. I mean, luckily you and I love the Titans a lot. We have a connection to them, which helps. It's definitely not new reader friendly.
No, God.
It would not be enjoyable if we did not have such an affinity to these characters, I think.
That's true. Yeah.
If you and I didn't love Roy and Donna so much and the Titans, it would not be worth it. I think it's worth it to read as a Titans fan.
I mean, they knocked it out of the park with those two. Actually, I thought they did a great job. I thought that Roy was maybe a bit too mean.
Yeah, Roy was.
He was kind of
a dick,
kind of a dickhead a lot of the time to his friends. But I mean, it's not the same New 52 Roy, Outlaws Roy, which is he was. He busts balls, but he's not going to be an asshole to his friends. But
no,
it's just a little bit meaner, But overall, pretty good. Being good dad.
Yeah,
maybe not a very good employer.
Oh, yeah, 'cause we talk about his babysitter.
Didn't do any background checks on his babysitter. Not that she did anything wrong, but that, she's going to be watching the child of her family's mass murderer. So, like, it's probably
Yeah,
something I could have
so
looked into.
background. At this time, Roy Harper does have his daughter, Leanne, the daughter he has with Cheshire, who is a villain, who does come in this, of course.
It's not a cat.
Not and Leanne and Roy live at Titan's Tower because it's rent-free. You can save money. More money spent on his kid. And he hires a babysitter who's like a regular person, but her entire country was destroyed by Cheshire. And she figures out after talking to Leanne, and she's like, whoa.
It's a lot.
I can't work here. And he's like, hey, listen, we'll deal with it, but can you I still gotta do this. Can you just keep working a little bit more? Like, he's just like, I think about it every day when I look at her. And he's like, listen, I get it. I should have never fallen in love with Cheshire. I don't condone what she did. But like,
he literally just says like, yeah, babysitters are hard to find. So like, sorry. It's like, I mean, she's still stuck around, so he must be paying her something.
Yeah, for real.
Like, it's good work. And I mean, Leanne is super rad.
I will say the best character to this, because I mean, to me, Roy and Dawn are the best because I love them. I think they were genuinely very good in this. Leanne Harper, Roy's daughter, is so MVP of this whole series. I mean, from what we've read so far, the first 20 issues, Devin Grayson's read. Fantastic.
Yeah. Very
love having a little kid on board.
Pro Leanne.
Absolutely. And I love that they show Leanne, they never show Tempest, aka Garth's daughter, ever. He's married, he has a kid, or son maybe, or whatever.
He's married to a dolphin.
Her name is weird. Dolphin.
I'd never seen him, so might as well be a dolphin. he made a big old deal about it, and just like, oh, cool, it may be like just a cutaway panel. No, not gonna. Okay, cool.
So after this, we get a few little things, like we get a backstory, not really backstory. Argent's dad is involved in like dealing this speedster drug. That's the only time we ever hear about Argent. I understand that she was a part of Titans before this, or like a Teen Titans run or something, but she had her group. I know nothing else about her, and
she like shoots light, like constructs or something.
And as far as like the first 20 issues are concerned, they don't care either. Not really.
No, she's just like, sort of there. I guess she's kind of. I kind of got a Valley Girl kind of vibe from her. She's like, I love shopping and blah blah blah. And
I have no idea.
That's the only amount of character.
I've got a crush on Aqualad, I guess. Sorry, Tempest.
I don't think anything happened from that.
No, it didn't. She just had a crush on him.
Married.
But it was a marriage of convenience, according to Nightwing. So I don't know. Probably
was. We'll never know.
We'll never know. We see Raven for a second. So Darkwave Fairy comes back. So Donna and Roy about to get it on. They're in bed. Clothes are coming off. Raven shows up in the mirror, and she's like, "Hey, my soul is stuck. Come help me." And Donna's like, "Bet." And she's like, "You got to get into heaven for me." And she's like, "Sure, I'll do that." Easy. And then she's like, "Whoops, I can't get into heaven. I guess I don't have a soul." And she's like, "Oh no." Well, that's okay. We'll figure out some other way. And then Raven's gone, and they never address the heaven or hell thing.
Don't worry about it.
And they don't talk about it in this. So right. I'm guessing it's related to some other things going with Etrigan or whatever.
Yeah, there's like a whole
Judgment Day or whatever.
Judgment Day event thing
but they do not address it again in this.
Yeah, no, they didn't even really address the end of it. Like there's no just sort of that was it.
I guess it's just there to be like, Donna, you got to grow a soul, I guess. So, bummer.
Maybe. We'll see.
Whoops. Argent was from Dan Jurgens' run, if I recall. Or was it Teen Titans? It might have been Teen Titans.
I love Team Titans. It just sounds like you're accidentally saying it wrong.
I know, right? Then we see Slade for a while. He comes to them. He's a much older... He's a much older Slade. He seems like he's a little off.
He talks about his son Jericho for a while.
Who was a Titan.
And it cuts back to like the old Marv Wolfman. Who did the animation at that time? Was that?
You mean the art?
Yeah. Not.
Good question.
It's
Perez.
Perez.
Yeah, it was Perez.
Yeah. So it, like cut back to like old Perez drawings. So it's like, whoa, this is wild out of context.
Yeah.
And then yeah, he's just like, oh, my ex-wife, and I was like, oh, that was weird and out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden, his ex-wife shows up. Like, whoa.
Yeah, so his ex-wife been captured by Vandal Savage, and they figure this out after they're having this big fight with Hive. They team up with Hive, right, to go after Vandal Savage.
That whole sequence is extremely hard to follow.
Vandal Savage is trying to convince Cyborg to help him out, and in return, he'll give Cyborg a body. And he's got to use Slade's ex-wife, Adeline, her blood or something, because she's immortal. Mm-hmm. And then he kills her in front of him. He's like, she's immortal, it's okay. And he's like really upset about it. And then he tries to kill Cheshire. And so Roy's like, oh my gosh.
First mistake.
What am I supposed to do? This mother of my child. I mean, she's a villain, but she's still the mother of my child, you know? And at this point, everything's happening. Damien Dark's there, right? The whole crew is there. Damien Dark's about to die too. Starfire is upset seeing Adeline, aka Slade's ex-wife, because she's like, no, she's just like a vegetable. She's not really there. She may be immortal. It may she come back, but there's nothing in her. She's a prisoner in her own body, and she literally disintegrates her in front of everybody.
Blows her all to pieces,
and everyone's like, whoa.
Which honestly, I mean, she was immortal, and her throat was slit, and she was like bleeding a lot. So I mean, like, especially coming from Starfire, who had been a slave for a lot of her life, she's like, yeah, no, I think this makes sense. But everyone's like, whoa. But I was just kind of like, well, yeah, what was the better scenario
it's not
here?
A Starfire I'm used to seeing, and like this does lean very heavily into Starfire being a warrior, and Starfire makes some choices in this first 20 issues that are not good.
Wow, yeah, I don't know why anybody's friends with Starfire in this.
Yeah, because she, I mean, literally disintegrates this woman in front of Slade, in front of the whole team, doesn't talk to the rest of the team. Because, you know, Dick Grayson's like, we could have done something. You know, he's like, we could have done anything. And she's like, no, I've been there. I know what it's like. It's awful. And it's so hard to get out where you're just trapped in your mind. And he's like, yeah, but you got out and you're okay. And she's like, no, I vowed to never let anybody go through that. And she was like, made the decision.
Also, side note, I love this pre-52 Starfire because of what her hair does. Because it just randomly goes out of control and like super long and just like, what is the hair? What's the hair doing?
That was a perm Starfire.
Wild.
It is wild. Yeah, and Damien Dark's like, oh, I took some of Adeline's blood before she was fully gone, so now I'm immortal, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, Damien Dark, bye.
We'll see you in an event or something. We won't see you in the next 15 issues, but...
Sounds good.
Bye.
Yeah, and then after this, everyone's mad at everybody. Mm-hmm. Starfire is pissed at Nightwing. Because Nightwing's like, hey, guys, that mission was not good. Y'all messed it up completely.
They're just like,
you all did it bad.
Meeting time. You all suck. And then everyone there is just like, why is this a meeting? Why are we talking about this?
Like, you're not in charge of us. Also, like, we have stuff to do. And he's like, no, guys, I'm serious. And Starfire's like, I hate you, whatever. And she's punched him. She's thrown him across the room. Mm-hmm. She's pissed. She's like, you don't even care about me. I've been here forever. You don't care. And don't think I haven't noticed.
I ain't no hollaback girl. And she's just like...
She's in her feelings about it. And then Cyborg quits because he wanted the chance to choose for himself whether or not he was going to lie in with Vandal to get his body back. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, what? No.
Seems like a weird thing to be caught up on.
Very weird. He kicked the Flash out.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about that because that was also really weird and out of nowhere. It's just like one issue, a Flash shows up and it's just like, hey, I'm the Flash. And everyone's like, you look different. But Donna was just like, nah, he's cool. And everyone's like, okay, I guess that's the Flash.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so the Flash is gone for a while, Wally West, right? in comes the Newt Flash, so they just write Flash with a question mark. And everyone's like, I don't know who you are. And Jesse Quick's like, I really don't know who you are. And without ever revealing who he is, they just kick him out. Like, no, I don't want to deal with you.
He's like, get out. And he's like, all right.
And he's Wally West from the future, apparently.
Yeah, turns out. But, I mean, they sort of like halfway mention it in a conversation, and that's how they reveal that.
And he's got like a cooler, he has a different color outfit.
Not cooler, notably a lot dorkier.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like, it's a different outfit. I mean,
Yeah.
like, but he just like
noticeably different.
They don't explain it. They're just like, here's another Flash. He reveals his face to Donna, and she's like, oh. And then that's it for us on this side of the comic book. So we're like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have forgotten about Argent and Damage. I know that they're there. I do not remember them or think about them at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're even in that meeting we were talking about, just sort of sitting there being like, oh, this is weird. Or like, oh, this is getting heated. Oh, they are just literally on the sidelines the whole time.
Yeah.
And then Damage is really only there to be like, this is upsetting me. And everyone's like, oh, he's going to explode. That's
because if Damage gets upset, he explodes. That's his whole thing.
Just like, why do you want this guy around? Like,
because Roy Harper felt bad for being so mean to him. So he's like, hey, I was kind of mean to Damage, and he might explode, but it's cool, you know.
He might go boom boom.
He's like, I owe him one, and that's why.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then like everyone goes to Donna because they're like, hey, I want to talk about my feelings. Donna's like, why can't I talk about my feelings? And then that's.
And then that was the Maddie relatable moment for Donna Troy.
Honestly, I get it, because everyone's like, I need to talk to you because I'm upset. And she's like, I just want to be, why can't anybody talk to me? I'm already upset. I can't take your emotional labor right now. I'm like, I get it, Donna. Me too.
Mm-hmm. When I read that, I was like, wow, this is a real Maddie moment.
It's me and Donna. We're the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we? I don't know. But then the next issue, don't worry. The Flash comes back.
Yeah, it's just like, well, there he is.
No big deal. They bust out Omen, who used to be a Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. That's it.
I mean, there was like there was a lot of Tempest stuff there.
Oh, that's true.
Like there was like he was kind of coming into his own, being like a leader, but pretty much this happens like 3 times in the first 20 issues, is where they get into trouble and Tempest is like, you guys leave, I'll stay here. He does this 3 times in these series of issues. Like he just does the same thing over and over again. He just gets kidnapped and then escapes.
Yeah.
Like that's
because he knows everybody makes fun of him. Not everybody, one person. And so
no, everybody does call him Gillhead.
It is funny.
Which I don't think Atlanteans have gills. I've never seen them.
I don't know.
I
will say in this issue, it's really great because at one point, Dick does go to Batman for advice, like just real life advice. And then Batman doesn't really give any advice. Instead, Dick Grayson just rattles off about all the girls that maybe he's seeing or not.
Mm-hmm. He's such
a lot.
He's such a hoe.
Absolutely.
With a name like Dick, though. Come on.
But then we get to the best part, which is issues 15 and 16 when they go to the island. It does
pick up here. I think that's when it starts to really get its groove. And strangely enough, it's because they remove all the people I don't care about.
Yeah, this is when we get to the core people, right? And they're stuck on an island together for some reason. I don't know why. The Flash.
Well, no, it was they weren't stuck, I guess. They went there as like a retreat so they could get back to their roots. Yeah. So they brought I was going to say the Quinn jet. That's not right. The Titan jet. And they parked it on an island and said, we're going to camp out here until we deal with all these problems we're having.
And they immediately start arguing.
Whoops.
They immediately start arguing. They're having a rough time. Donna's throwing their camping equipment places. Roy's like, whatever, guys. I'm out of here. If you need me to hunt something, I'm here. Like, whatever. And they're trying to build camp and stuff. Mm-hmm. And of course, Donna and Roy make out a lot. But then she's like, I'm only with you because I'm trying to be a goody two shoes. And like, I don't remember why I loved you when I loved you. So I'm trying to remember that now. And he's
And then
like,
he's just
bummer,
like,
but okay.
he's like, all right, whatever.
He's like, I love you, and you're perfect.
He's
So
like,
okay.
I'd still hit it. So,
And then we have this very cute, maybe not cute's the right word, but a very fun filler episode type of issue. So this gargoyle, who apparently is from, I wrote down,
it's apparently from a much earlier story.
Teen Titans Volume 1, number 14 or something. So like early Teen Titans. They basically like imprisoned him or something. And he is getting revenge after all this time. So when they were kids, he after this last big crisis, something set him loose, and he has just been focused on getting his revenge on them, which he does by making them all fall asleep, basically, and kind of trapping them in like a dream world from when they're kids, making them think that they never were going to do anything else. So like for Donna, she's back on Themyscira, and they're like, she's like, oh, where's your sister? She's like, oh, I think she's in the world of man. I think I've been there. Like, no, you haven't. Dick Grayson is just back with his parents being an acrobat.
Trapezing. They're like, why would anybody go to Gotham? Let's go to Metropolis.
Yeah, the Flash is just
he's running from
beat up.
Yeah, just that's weird. That's a weird memory to trap somebody in.
Weird. Roy Harper's back
okay,
on the reservation, but not completely on the reservation because his dad's there, I guess.
Or uncle? Who knows? I don't know who that is.
Maybe it's his uncle.
Or his guardian. Because his uncle's the guardian.
But basically, like, Roy catches on because he's like, wait a sec, you're trying to tell me stories about my mom. There are no stories about my mom. Because Roy basically grew up on a reservation. He is not Native American, but he was taken in by Native Americans on the reservation. His parents are dead.
Yeah, super dead.
Super dead.
Like, you could not get more dead than Roy's parents.
And he's like, yeah, there's no way. And so he figures, okay, I'm going to find the other ones in this, like, dream world. Because the gargoyle's like, he's like, hey, I'm not falling for this. The gargoyle says, you were 13 and I am your father and there are no other options possible. And Roy's like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. So he's like, okay, cool. Let's just, I can't see anything. He's like, all right, let's just go to the circus. Knowing that if he does that, he'll run into Boy Wonder over there.
And they start showing up in their old school outfits. It's very, very cute.
It's very, very sweet. And they like fight back against the gargoyle, but you can't fight him there because it's like a limbo deal and he can't take damage. But they're all in there just like, yeah, they're OG Teen Titans outfits. And they realize the way to get out is to be honest with each other about their feelings and their fears and their thoughts.
Or is it?
And I love this. I love moments like this a lot. And I think there's good moments like this sprinkled in. There's just some of the bigger plot points, so it makes sense. I think they had too many people on the team. If they had kept it like this and had them go through the trials and tribulations that they're going through, I think it would have been better. But I love this. Like they're like, hey, we need to talk to each other. Like, we need to get back together. And Dick's like, hey, I should have been more supportive, okay? And Roy's like, hey, I wasn't even an original member. And like, hey, you guys, you have to stop saying that. It doesn't matter. And there's this moment where Garth is like, hey, you really hurt my feelings when you make fun of me all the time. He even calls him racist early on in the book. He's like, you're racist. He's like, what? Because I call you Gillhead? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, whoa, I can't be. I'm from a reservation. And you're like, okay, right.
Yikes.
It was the 90s. Well, I guess early 2000s, though.
It was the early 2000s.
And Roy is literally like, dude, the only thing I'm really upset with you about, Garth, is that you don't seem to understand that I'm not really upset. If you know me at all, then you know I'm only joking when I bust on you.
It's just not how feelings work, Roy, but that's fine.
So there's 55. So we decided to split it up because we were originally going to do all of it. And that's a lot for one. And two,
it took me 2 months to get through like 17 issues. So
I think it makes more sense to like split up by writer. And we may not read more of this. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it's picking up. I mean, the biggest bummer about that whole cool Gargoyle Island story bit is that it's the next issue. It's completely ignored. So it's like all that growth that happened is just not there anymore.
The greatest part of this, though, they're all telling each other their feelings. They're all opening up to each other. They're all bonding. And you get towards the end, and Roy is pissed at Nightwing and just punches him in the face. And that's how they get out of it.
That's how he's
nice,
honest.
Open communication. And Roy's like, "Don't you understand? You're driving us all crazy." And punches him. But they're all getting it out.
And this is the part of the series that I realized that the writer is constantly reminding us that Nightwing was raised by Batman. Like they keep saying it over and over and over again, like kind of as a dig on him. It's like, yeah, we get it. You were raised by Batman. Oh, look at me, I'm Dick Grayson, raised by Batman. But like it got to the point where it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. like he's raised by Batman. Big whoop.
So this 20-issue series, or this 20 issues, written by Devin Grayson, her run on the Titans ends with this like 3 or 4 parter where part of the team goes to help Starfire in the vegan system. Interesting name, because even though Tamaran has been destroyed,
and New Tamaran,
the Tamaranians, they say they're being attacked and they need help.
They're being invaded by a bunch of slave traders.
Yeah. And so like, oh man, yeah, of course we're going to help you, Starfire. You're a friend. Of course. So part of the team goes there, and then like Dick Grayson, Roy Harper, and Damage stay back, because Roy Harper and Damage, he takes him to a reservation to help him go through his feelings.
Well, Damage can't go to space because he has to be a witness in the trial against his uncle. Who is a villain.
Dr. Polaris.
Roy had Leon, and Nightwing was too busy. Well, actually, Starfire told Nightwing not to come.
Yeah, because she's mad at him.
Yeah.
And because he probably would have caught on to what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that was it was an interesting plot there, though, because like Damage apparently he was damaged from child abuse. So
yeah. They
talk it out there. He knows he needs to heal, and basically leaves him on the reservation. By Damage. So at the same time,
he's just like, bye. I think they were just like, yeah, we thought we had plot for you in this series. We really don't. So you could just chill here if you want.
And then Leon Harper hugs him because she's real sweet.
Yeah, she's the big ol' sweetie.
So at the same time, they're joining this war in space, basically. And halfway through, after Tempest, aka Garth, gets captured by these slave traders, like these that they say they're being baited by.
And you won't even guess how he got captured. They were pinned down, and he said, "You guys go. I got this." And then he got captured. It's like weird. It's like he's never done that twice already in this series.
So we figure out that apparently they were not being invaded. The Tamaranians are invading these people. They are the aggressors. And Starfire already knew this and asked her friends.
She did a big whoopsie on this one.
And everyone's like, so you knew? And she's like, yeah, if I told you.
If I told you the truth, you wouldn't have helped. She's like, oh, you got us.
And like her brother's there, and he's literally just trying to kill people, and they're all stopping them like, whoa, hold up. You're going way too far with this.
And I'd like to remind you that these are slave traders still. They're actually still slave traders. But redeeming quality, the slave trade doesn't pay like it used to. So,
and they said they never invaded big planets or anything.
Yeah, they only discriminated against smaller, weaker races. So it's fine.
So Starfire, they're like, whoa, she's gone full warrior. She's like, this Starfire is very intense and makes some decisions that I did not expect her to do.
Just, very far cry from the Cartoon Network Starfire we're all familiar with.
Or even just New 52, like it's both refreshing.
Our Starfire would never.
I mean, part of it is really interesting given her background, given being a slave, like her people have, she's had 2 planets of hers die, right?
Mhm.
She's gone through a lot, and she is a warrior at heart. So at some point, this is kind of interesting to see her like this, to see her more like how you'd see like a Themysciran be. And so it is cool to see her that way. It is just very different. It's not one I've ever seen of her be so much just like, yeah, no. Also, she did admit in this book, by the way, I just remembered this, that she doesn't have to kiss people to learn their language. She just told she just told Dick Grayson that.
Yeah,
and that's not actually the truth.
That was admitted. I read that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. She did.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if that got retconned in the New 52. But
also the Omega Men showed up. I don't know anything about them, but they were there.
But man, they were a threatening presence because everyone just stopped in their tracks when they showed up, and I was even like, they were like, I know who the Omega Men are. I don't recognize any of them. I was like, yeah. So even people in the book were a bit taken aback by the Omega Men showing
I've
up.
never seen them.
I have no reference of them.
I've read so much DC now. I've never seen them.
Never heard of them before. Not even. We don't even have it in like our DC deck building game. I've no reference.
I volunteer allowed Starfire to test it out on me. Me too, James. Me too. Absolutely. But basically, it ends with Garth being like, "Hey, don't worry. I'll be the diplomat here, and I'll fix it. You two can just be friends."
And it worked out.
It worked out. And Starfire's like, "Yeah, I'll stay here and be the princess of Tamaran or whatever again."
Yeah, mostly because he's like, mostly because these guys hate my brother so much that I have to
because he's a
stay.
cold-blooded murderer.
Because he wicked. I mean, the dude was pretty.
And
cold.
Starfire's a lukewarm-blooded murderer, basically. Like,
yeah. She at least, disintegrates people.
And then the issue after this, Wally leaves, he goes back to Justice League full time because he's like, "Hey, Jesse, you got this." And he's like, "I was just here for my family, but I'm good now."
He's like, "Yeah, no, this team sucks," he says.
And Cyborg gets his body back because Nightwing arranges this whole thing. He grows the body for him. Cyborg is upset at first. He's like, "Why would you do this?" He's like, "Whoa."
Well, it calls back to him getting the body the first time, is he didn't give him a choice. He's just like, "Hey, here's a body for you," and then he was like, "Damn it, Dick, you're a dick."
So that ends the first 20 issues. There's a lot happening in here. I feel like I was more summarizing this time than I usually do. But
there's just, I mean, it's so much is happening.
Yeah.
And man,
overall thoughts, Elliot.
There's just so much happening, and like this is such a far cry from what I'm used to reading, which is in newer comics. Like,
yeah,
I mean, this is probably why they had to consolidate everything when they went to the New 52 and just start over on stuff, because it's like you can't have this character without talking about this, and this, and this, and this. And they're like, well, I'm just introducing them for this 3-issue run, and just like, man, you've got a lot to talk about with them. Yeah. What if I just introduced them? So it's pretty wild. I like. There was a few parts that had the family dynamic, but overall, they kind of just seemed mean to each other a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to compare it to as far as like comics from this time. But I mean, I wasn't into it at all.
That's fair. I think what would be a better Titans run for you to read, because you've read Rebirth.
I read Linux. Rebirth up to a point.
They didn't go too far either.
Yeah.
Rebirth Titans, because once Roy died.
What was the point?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even get that far.
That's fine. Honestly, there wasn't much there. It was weird. I think Titans is doomed to be a little weird. I think a lot of people don't know what to do with them. I
That's
think
true.
like Brandon brought up Judd Winnick's run. Winnick's run on Titan, which is Titans, which is in like 2008 or whatever. I think is a big improvement. I think it's a more solid run with Titans. I haven't read the newest Titans without Roy in it because I like it makes me sad when he's not there.
Oh man,
And
I
it's a
forgot
different team.
Kyle Rayner showed up in this.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's just some eye candy. Showed up and then left.
I mean, he's still got the hots for Donna, so
Fair.
fair.
He's got to give that ring to somebody.
Yeah.
That's not true. He gets everybody's ring. He gets all of them.
Yeah, I would say there's some bits in this I liked, but there's a lot that I was just okay
Yeah.
as a reader. I would not feel that way if I didn't have a connection to the Titans already. If I didn't, I've been like, this is a drag.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't know where it was going. Like they had an idea of how to start it, and they have no idea where to go with it. Like they did not reverse. They didn't like start like this is where we want them to end up. How do they get there? It's like we have all these characters we're not doing anything with. What will happen? And then they just couldn't really get anything interesting going.
It was too many. It was too many people.
Which I think that I feel like the story auto-corrected is why they had all those people leave. Like they had 4 Titans leave. I think it's because they're like, oh, we can't keep this up. It's just not.
Yeah.
We either have very underutilized characters or just not very. It's just a mess.
Yeah, and I may even just read ahead and see if it's worth it, and then let you know this time.
Yeah.
Titans without Roy, no thanks. That's how I feel. That's how the newest Titan stuff is. Partly because he was dead, but now he's not dead, and they're still not together. But he's also busy with his own thing in Green Arrow.
He's got some pretty cool things going on right now. He's fighting John Cena,
Peacemaker, and other Peacemaker,
and Lady Peacemaker.
Yeah,
Johnina Cena.
Johnina Cena. Yeah, I would give this because we do ratings here.
I don't do that.
That's fine. I give it a 5 out of 10.
I will give it a the out of 10 because this is the Titans.
It makes it very hard to find these issues for us because we were looking for the Titans, and if you tell me you're looking for Titans, I think Titans by Winnick, which is fine. But we're like, we want the Titans.
And then they're like, what do you mean the Titans? And they look at you like crazy and they're like 1999. And then they're like, oh, we don't have
It's got 3 different writers. So like, yeah, after this, it goes, there's like 2 more main writers it goes to. So I think I'll read ahead. I'll see if it's at all palpable for you to read.
Just do a quick word count. Because man. So many words.
Absolutely. So now that I've tortured you with this, even though it did involve our favorite people, what kind of thing would you like to read next? What are you in the mood for? Also, that is so loud.
What's so loud?
That is. Please stop. This is my show.
I'm not doing anything.
You're opening the package. That was loud. This is my husband, everybody. I can talk to him like this.
This is my life.
Yeah, there's no collected editions for this at all. So they have collected some, not all of Titans by Winnick, I think. And it's been recollected a couple times, but the Titans has never been collected. So I knew that the only way I was going to get this is to buy all the floppies to have it custom bound. Which is still my plan.
We got close. I think
we're only missing a couple. It's like the end.
Like 1 or 2 we're missing.
And we even got all the secret files, the annuals.
Yeah, we have to go to C2E2 again, and that's usually how we get most of our stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, usually when you find it, it's like $1, so it's not.
Oh, yeah. And it gives us something to look for. Like a little hunt at cons, so it's kind of fun. So, Elliot, what would you be in the mood for? You want a non-DC thing?
What I like to read.
Something that's like a self-contained thing, so you don't have to know anything?
We could read We Three. I heard that's a really big
No.
uplifting.
I've reviewed that twice. I'm good.
Okay. You don't want to.
He's being
Review it
sarcastic. People at home.
three?
We 3 is about animals and it's sad.
It's very sad. I hope you don't like bunnies. Or was it the cat? I can't remember.
It's both. It's sad.
Dog makes it out. Well, do you recommend any other Green Arrow stuff? I like Ollie. I've read all of New 52 Green Arrow.
Yeah. I don't know if I've talked about New 52 Green Arrow on
I like the majority of it.
Over Your New Reader. So that's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read Kevin Smith's Green Arrow?
I have not.
That's an option.
I imagine
Now
this
that you
is
want to
pretty
read
good.
something more recent, I can't recommend to you the thing that I want to read, which is Green Arrow, Green Lantern. They're like
Ooh.
buddy cop road trip deal. Because I know that that's going to be
That's going to be
heavier than
wordy.
dialogue.
That's going to be super wordy. And not to mention, that is where Roy developed a heroin addiction.
Yeah. Classic.
Classic. We have to get like a print of that. It's like, Speedy, my ward is a junkie. It's so good.
No.
That's such a good, like,
Oh yeah, Black Canary
classic.
Green Arrow is really good. I think I've done that on the show. I think. I'll check. If I haven't, that'd be a good one. I wish I hadn't already done Nightwing, the newest one, because I feel like you would love it.
I don't know. I'm not a huge Nightwing fan. Do we
You
have
would
any?
be reading this.
Did the Terrifics ever finish? That would be a cool one. Because I love Plastic Man. I love Mr. Terrific. And
Because they
there
had
were
that
other
reboot
people.
of it. That might be a good one because I read Volume 1 and really liked it. I haven't read 2 and 3 because Volume 1, Volume 1's by Lemire.
I do love Mr. Terrific. Is my nickname for Jeff Lemire.
That'd be a fun one. I mean, that does involve a lot of characters you wouldn't. I mean,
I know.
Terrific and Plastic Man and
Yeah, I know a good bit
Metamorpho.
of them. And Metamorpho's there.
Yeah.
He was just cast in the Superman movie.
Yeah. Okay, we can do the Terrifics. I need to get Volume 2 and 3.
That mouse is really loud, so.
No. One of these days, I will have to do Heroes in Crisis on here.
I mean, I could do Heroes in Crisis with you. I have a lot of opinions about that too.
Man. Oh, I guess maybe I have done Heroes in Crisis. I think I did
But
talk
you
about
should.
that with Lee.
You have to. Oh yeah, you did when that came out.
Yeah, it was very
I was about to say
bad.
you'd have to change the name of the show to The Firing Squad, because it
Ugh.
would just be hit after hit of why did you do this?
I'd be so angry. Like, just.
You had to do all pretty much every one of my boys dirty. He even had that
Yeah,
Citizen Steel, Captain Steel, or whatever he's
I
going by that day.
know.
Had to do him dirty like that.
Another option. If we don't do Terrifics, we can do Blue and Gold.
Ooh, 52 pickup.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that. I mean, we can do that one. I was thinking the new one.
The new one. Oh yeah, I would love to do the new one.
Because I've got all the issues.
I love 52 pickup.
And we can do a 52
It's
pickup.
so good.
Let's do, okay, so next one that you and I do will be Booster Gold in some way.
All
And
right,
then
we'll do Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because
Blue and Gold sounds good.
our boys won't steer us wrong.
No, they can't. You can't do us dirty with them.
No. You know who did them dirty? Heroes in Crisis. Actually, he was pretty cool in that one.
He's pretty good in that one. Booster was good in that one.
Yeah, he looked really good there. It was good.
Teddy Boy, he was in there. Yeah, he was in there
Yeah.
for a minute.
Because in Heroes in Crisis, they both show up.
Yeah, they kind of reintroduced him in that one. Didn't he not really have reintroduction after?
Yeah, he had been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
So he hadn't been around. So I've never read the Titans, but I understand people saying they don't have enough powerful characters to believably beat many of the DC comic big bads. so they'll never be able to replace the Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, that was never really their purpose, though. Like they've never had. I mean, they mostly tangle with like Deathstroke, so it's like not a big like galactic threat.
I think they're all incredibly capable, especially because many of the Titans have been on big teams like Justice League or some iteration of them. Because like Starfire is incredibly powerful. Donna Troy is very powerful depending on what she is.
Well, however she's feeling.
And then you've got the Flash. As far as like Nightwing and Roy.
Hey, Roy's been on the Justice League too.
Yes, true. I mean, they're very good in different ways. Same way kind of Batman. Same way Batman's really good. Because like I think Roy's better at the more like gadgety stuff than Nightwing is, in a way that like I think it's comparable to Batman. You can put Roy in a room with one tool and he can wreck house.
Well, yeah, there was even that scene in the beginning of this run where the guy punched him into a sporting goods store and he was like, "You idiot! You put me in a sporting goods store." And then he attacked him with like a golf club or something.
Yeah.
He's the best improviser.
There have been videos lately that were going to be pushed to the front, that they were going to be pushed to the forefront. Oh yeah, I need to catch up on some of it then. I mean, the newer group too, I think has Raven in it. I know there's some big bads that have ran through JL before they lose. Yeah, I think they're both just very interesting groups. They deal with things differently.
Oh man, what we could do, keeping it on the Titans, is instead of reading, we could watch the Titans on DC Universe. All 4.
It's not on
seasons?
DC Universe anymore. It doesn't. You can't watch anything there. You only read. We have to watch it on Max.
Watch it on Max. Fuck Batman.
Petition for fangirls with fangirls' husbands to do old reader and new reader together. I would love to. Tell us a Tuesday that you're both free. Because I think we
that's
had
a
our
cool
list.
name, the Comics Slayer, whoever you are.
Because I think it'd be good to have Reed and Elliot read like a Kyle Starks book, or read like do a power bomb, because since that one
Minor celebrity Kyle Starks.
Yeah, read one of his books.
Yeah, but if we were all on there together reading the book, then he'll show up in the chat just like last time.
Yeah, but we know him, so it's different.
That's true. It's not.
He probably wouldn't. He probably feel awkward if we're all talking about his book. Well, it's about that time. I should be back next week. Oh wait, there's like a million Tuesdays next month.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, there's 5. I will absolutely be back on the 8th. We're doing a Patreon pick.
Ooh.
I don't know what it is yet. And I do know that on the 22nd next month, we'll be reading Cosmo Nights. I'm still figuring out the other weeks, but next month should be back to normal. This past was my birthday month, and I took a little vacation, and then another little vacation. Just been chilling.
Gotta take a vacation to recover from your vacation.
I have been doing this for 5 years now, so
that's crazy.
Gotta take breaks every once in a while. But anyways, it was really good to have you all in the chat. Elliot, thank you for joining me. I'm so sorry about this.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, talking about it with you.
No, actually, I liked Trinity of Sin better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trinity of Sin was pretty cool though. Weirdly.
It picked up, but it's just.
We'll pick an actually good, like something that I know for sure is good next time.
No, we'll see.
I know that we keep picking things that we own.
Very
that
picky.
We haven't read. I can get you.
We'll see.
Okay. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.